Alright, what's up everybody? So, I'd like to talk about FBC Firebreak. So, new game, it's by Remedy. I'm a huge fan of Remedy. Control and Alan Wake 2. Honestly, I even liked Alan Wake 1 to be completely honest, even though it was pretty freaking janky sometimes. I really like Remedy games. I've played pretty much every Remedy game. I feel like that's kind of how they get you. You play one Remedy game and then you play all the Remedy games. Um, so I was really looking forward to Firebreak. Control is like one of my favorite games ever. I'm a huge Jesse Faden fan, and I really can't wait for Control 2. So, going back to the Control universe, in a game that was kind of like, Helldivers 2 esque, was something I was really excited for. So, now the reception to Firebreak has been mixed at best. Um, and frankly, it's a little confusing and partly a self-inflicted wound, in my opinion, by Remedy. Um, so I was part of a tech test for Firebreak, and in that tech build, now I had to sign an NDA for that, which I'm assuming it's fine to talk about because the game is out now. So in that build, there was a lot more unlocked than when you first start playing the release version of the game. So this game is set up very similarly to Helldivers. Like, they even use a lot of the same terminology, like requisitions, right? So you basically have your requisitions, which, just like Helldivers, there's a paid, war bond slash battle pass. The paid one just has cosmetic stuff though. No power related stuff. And then there's like a base one, which is, you unlock different weapons, you unlock different upgraded versions of those weapons, you unlock different armor. Armor doesn't have any stats, whereas in Helldivers it does. And then, different grenades, different tools. I think the real, honestly, dumb decision, if I'm just going to be frank, so you kind of have like, so in Helldivers you have your stratagems, right? In this game you have an item, so I've been using mostly the Fix-It kit, so there's kind of like hero classes. So the Fix-It kit gets this like swivel cannon. You like turn a chair and like a leaf blower kind of looking thing into a cannon. It's like funny and cool. You also can, you get this giant wrench. You can put basically like a giant piggy bank bomb on your wrench, which is also really funny and effective. Now, when I played this tech test, all this stuff was already unlocked. Not all the grenades. You just had the base grenade, but I think you could play like any weapon if I remember correctly. Maybe not the machine gun. But there is, like, you had access to most of the weapons, and you had your abilities unlocked. I think that them putting the abilities in the, like, Warbond slash Battle Pass, which you can unlock them pretty quickly, but people aren't going to know that. Like, I was able, I kind of knew that pretty quickly because I'd played the tech test. So I was like, oh, where's my swivel cannon? How do I unlock that? Like, I know that that's in the game. Whereas someone who didn't play the tech test isn't going to know that. So that you're going to go into, and then if you look at the mission structure, which I also don't think they really helped themselves out here. So you unlock these in order, right? So I've mostly been playing quick play, which is why I don't have some of these at the clearance 3, but so there's this clearance idea, which is like you can set like how long you're in the mission. Basically, they like split each mission up into thirds. I really feel like the first and second parts of each mission are almost identical, like every time. That just really makes it feel like really boring. But the third part usually is actually pretty fun. It's like a boss encounter, or like something like a boss encounter. So I feel like they maybe should have just done like 2 clearance levels, or if they were gonna do 3, they really needed to add in like some kind of actual like something to differentiate between level 1 and level 2, because right now level 2 just feels like level 1B with extra steps, and it feels like a huge chore. Level 3 is actually fun. So this is the problem. People are coming into Firebreak, they're playing just level 1 clearance, which is frankly like a 5-minute mission, maybe even less if you have someone who knows what they're doing. They don't have their kit abilities unlocked, so there's the 3 kits, there's Fixer, Jump, and Splash. They don't have their kits unlocked. They don't have like the abilities for their kits unlocked. So like if we look at my jump kit, I haven't unlocked the stuff for my jump kit. So I don't have a device, I don't have a parry utility. That's that swivel cannon and the piggy bank I was mentioning for the fix kit. So you don't have those. You also have way less weapons to choose from. I don't even think you have a grenade when you first play a first mission. You also don't have any perks, right? So there's another thing on top of requisitions for like weapons and item upgrades. You also get like there's like a shit ton of perks in this game, but you don't like realize that at all when you first start playing. And they don't really have any kind of tutorial. They kind of just like throw you into the game and you're kind of expected to figure it out. And I think that's fine to some extent. Like a lot of it is supposed to make sense, right? Like, oh, I'm playing a fix kit, I have a giant ass wrench, there's a broken thing with a wrench symbol over it, I should probably take my wrench out and fix the thing. That makes sense, right? I personally like the little fix it mini game. So there's like, you know, the 3 kits, there's the wrench, there's the shock, there's the water. If you need one of those to do a particular task and you have, you know, you're playing it, you can just instantly do that task. But you're not screwed over if you're not playing those other kits. You just have to do this little mini game. I kind of think of that like the stratagems in Helldivers, right? Where you have to do the little like mini game with the codes. So once you unlock stuff, so I've played for like 4 or 5 hours. I've unlocked like all the abilities and like a bunch of weapons. You know, now I'm using the machine gun. I have my abilities unlocked. I also, you know, got some cosmetics and stuff. So once you like start to get, and I also have like several perks. Well, I can actually equip another one. Put that one on. But some of the perks are like really, really, really strong. But like elemental effects for your bullets, like, you know, resistance to different effects. Like, so what the idea is when you get into the harder versions of these jobs, so like the higher threat level is basically like harder, and then corruptions are like you know, crazy effects that'll happen. You know, if you've played Control, there's like the paranormal events, altered world events, sorry, AWEs. And I think there's like objects of power that come into play, and you have to use like black rock weapons to destroy them and stuff. Like, it brings in more elements of the Control universe. They're more difficult, and I think the idea is that when you get to these harder missions, like, you know, max clearance, max threat, max corruption, you need to be tailoring your loadout, so your weapon, your grenade, and then the perks that you're bringing, you need to be tailoring that towards the mission you're trying to do. So that's fun. And even when you like just get kind of the base kits unlocked and the like all the weapons unlocked, the game gets way more fun. Like, I was kind of second guessing myself when I first started playing, because I was like, I had a lot of fun in the tech test, and I was really looking. It made me look forward to the game even more. And then I started playing, and I'm like, man, this feels really freaking boring. Then I came to the realization of like, well, it feels boring because half the stuff is locked. So I really feel like they need to take a look at the clearance level 1 and 2 being way too similar. They need to add some kind of additional mechanic to clearance 2. I know that they're planning on adding more kits and more maps to the game. Like, that needs to happen ASAP. Because, like, that's only going to make the game way better, right? Like, adding more kits, that's more flexibility. Adding more maps, that's more things for people to do. More kits probably means more mechanics as well, because each kit is tied to a mechanic in the missions. So I think that's going to make the game a lot better. That's kind of a little more long term though. Short term, make the initial, you know, base playthrough way more fun, because clearance 1 with what you have unlocked is frankly awful. I think that they need to do almost like a Helldivers-esque training thing, like go through like Firebreak training or some bullshit like in the FBC. Like, I really feel like they need to add that and like explain to people like, hey, you're gonna unlock these items and tools, you're gonna unlock like basically like an ultimate, you're gonna get access to all these different weapons, here's all like the perks you can get. Like, show people what they can get to eventually. I don't think people have an issue with grinding. I mean, I've played a billion hours of Warframe. Now I'm playing a bunch of Helldivers 2. People grind the shit out of those games. You know, if you show people what they can grind towards, they will grind. And so yeah, so I think Remedy like didn't really do themselves any favors with how the game was set up. I think there is fun to be had in this game. I think they could do a better job of letting people get to that fun a little faster, and explaining some of the mechanics and whatnot. I also kind of don't really understand the negative reception so much. One, because like, you know, I mean, I saw people giving this game like a 1-star review on the Xbox store because I'm playing it on Game Pass. It like launched with like a 20 or like really low, like overwhelmingly negative review score on Steam. That's just fucking insane, man. Like, the game looks pretty good. You know, Control and Alan Wake 2 are gorgeous games. Like, it's not quite at that level, but the game looks really good. The gunplay, yeah, sure, it's not like freaking Bungie gunplay, right? But it's not bad. I wish there was a little more hit registration, but I think a lot of the reason why the guns don't feel impactful is because the first weapons you're probably going to use are either the revolver or the shotgun, and at low clearance levels, those just one-shot every single enemy. So it feels like you're not doing damage because you're kind of not. You're just like one-shotting everything. Whereas when you get to like higher clearance or higher difficulty and you're using like the machine gun, for example, you're not one-shotting everything. So you do get like more of a feel of the gunplay. So, you know, and like the game doesn't really, I mean, the biggest problem I've run into is connection issues, where like I'll lose connection to the host. That's pretty annoying. The rate at which you unlock stuff is pretty fast. Like you can get like, if you do kind of like look for all, it's just like Helldivers. Like in Helldivers you're looking for samples, and here you're looking for the little file things. It's the exact same. Like that's what I don't understand is, frankly, like the biggest complaint I've seen from people is that the game doesn't have enough content. And it's like, okay, the reason why I refunded Helldivers when I first bought it when the game launched was because that game barely had any content, if I'm just going to be completely honest. Now, it did have the whole global order thing and whatever, and now the game has a lot of content. I like playing Helldivers a lot now, but if we're just going to be honest, Helldivers 2 had about the same amount of content as this game does, except this game everything's handcrafted. Helldivers 2 had procedural generation, which supposedly people hate, you know, looking at the Starfield vitriol online, but I guess it's fine as long as people like the game. So yeah, it's equal parts Remedy not helping themselves and people just being, in my opinion, completely unreasonable. So You know, I don't know, like, once again, I am playing this on Game Pass, so I didn't pay money for it, you know, besides my Game Pass sub. However, if you have Game Pass, if you have PS Plus, I definitely think it's worth playing. Definitely play for like you can get to this point. Like, pick a kit that you like, unlock a weapon or two, unlock your item, and then your like ultimate, and the game will be infinitely more fun. You know, get to the higher clearance levels, and like it's way more interesting. And that really only takes like an hour or two, but people aren't even giving the game that long of a chance because its initial, you know, showing is really bad compared to what it becomes eventually. So I could totally understand people not wanting to buy the game. You know, I think if you wait, you know, we've seen their roadmap. They are going to add more maps. They are going to add more kits. They are adding more content to the game. I would say probably in like 6 months to a year, when they've added a lot of that content, I feel like it's definitely, you know, worth the $40. If you have Game Pass or PS Plus, I think it is certainly worth, you know, the install if you like this type of game. For me, it's like a nice change of pace from Warframe or Helldivers. Like, you know, I love grindy, you know, shooter games, but everybody gets burned out after a while, right? So I've been enjoying it quite a bit. The more I play, well, it's funny because when I first started playing, I only played for like a half an hour, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then the next time I played for a little longer, and then a little longer, and then tonight I've been playing like all night, and I was like, oh, I'm actually having way more fun now. So Remedy, I hope you take some feedback. Well, two things. One, like, people gotta stop being fucking dickbags, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, yes, I know Remedy is a company, but real people worked on this game, okay? And like people really need to stop being huge dicks. Like, just have some self-respect. You can express a negative opinion about a product without being an asshole, okay? Like, just be a normal human being. Explain your grievances with the game, and you can, like, there can be issues with something and you still like it. That is also a thing that can happen. I just said I have issues with this game, but I'm still having fun. I like Remedy. I like the Control universe. I want this game to succeed, so I would like to voice my criticism to Remedy in a constructive way, rather than just like the Firebreak Discord today was a fucking disaster. Like, there were people calling the mods Nazis. It was like, it was horrible. The stuff that people were saying was just unbelievable. Like, get your shit together, guys. It's just like, acting like that is just embarrassing. So anyways, I would say if you're gonna buy the game, maybe wait, unless you're a really big Control fan. If you have one of the subscription services, I think it's worth playing. I will also say, when I played the tech test, I played it on my Xbox. Now I'm playing it on my PC. I feel like it's way better on PC. I didn't love how it felt on controller, so that could be another thing. Like, if you're gonna play it on console, you might want to wait for like a patch or two for like some optimization to the controller feels. But yeah, so that's my thoughts about Firebreak. I do think there's a good game here. I genuinely think that there is a good game here. I think with like another year of content, this could be a really excellent game. I'm hoping Remedy doesn't just abandon it. I hope that they keep working on it and incorporate the feedback people are giving them. And guys, try to be productive with the feedback. Be constructive. Don't be an asshole. Alright? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it as always.